Have you ever thought about using your scan and cut to cut masks instead of fussy cutting? Think about it and come on in.
Hello everyone, this is Julia Laird with Senior Susie Stamps, and today I wanted to do some masked card images. So I've gone ahead and stamped my background with some stamps, and then I've masked them off, and now I'm getting ready to put some stenciled ink over top of that, and then I'm going to pull the stencil and I'm going to ink up this Gina K stamp of text and put a little bit of that on there too. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video today was because when I was making my masks this afternoon, I thought maybe some of you might like to know that you can cut your masks on your scan and cut. I want to make a little variegated background on here. I'm using 3 different green inks. This is certainly celery. The next one is Lucky Limeade. Get a piece of paper to clean my scrubber off with there. Now, so this one's the Lucky Limeade. There's not much difference between the certainly celery and the Lucky Limeade, but maybe there'll be enough to show up when we pull the masks off. And then this last one is just Old Olive. This stencil is a Lavinia stencil, and it is called Laurel. It's ST008, and I thought it would be pretty. These flowers that I'm using are some that were put out by Hero Arts quite a while ago. I've had them forever. And there's a larger one and a smaller one of the same stamp, and these are called Daisy Style, and they're by Hero Arts. Now I'm hoping that's going to be enough green, but I want to darken it up around the outside just to kind of draw your eye in a little bit. So we're almost through with this part of it. There. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Memento ink on this background stamp and just kind of hand stamp it. I'll clean this off shortly because I forgot to put my little stencil bucket together. Let me see. This stamp, this rubber stamp is called Elegant Script Background Stamp. And I'm going to use some Memento Black as soon as I find it. All right. And all I'm going to do is just put a little text here and there. I just want a little, just a little bit here and there, just to add a little extra interest in the areas where that stencil comes through. And I hope it'll look all right. Maybe just a little bit more down here. There. I want to let that ink dry up really well before I pull the masks off. Now, I have a pattern for these 2 stamps that I put through my scan and cut, and I cut stencils off of them using some of this removable labeling tape by Post-it. So let me show you the entire process. Sorry about the barking dog. I've got one that's boarding with us, and they're down there playing, so we'll just have to put up with a little noise today. So I've stamped another one of these Hero Arts stamps, and it's these two. This one's called Hibiscus Style. And I've gone back in with my black pen and tied the tails together that didn't quite come together, so that when it cuts, it'll cut in a continuous line without any problem. So what I'm going to do then is to put this on my scan and cut mat, and I'm going to tape it down securely. And this is just plain magic tape. It's nothing special at all. And it pulls off of here just fine. And so now we'll go over to the scan and cut, and I'll show you the procedure for putting this into memory so that you can cut repeated masks off of this pattern. So hang on, let me move and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm over with my scan and cut now, and this is the Brother Scan and Cut CM350. I'm going to turn my machine on, and you'll get the little disclaimer that says keep your hands away from the carriage, and I'll click OK, and then I'm going to feed it in, and I'm going to hit scan, and I'm going to scan to data because I want to save this in case I want to cut more masks off of this pattern in the future. So then I'm going to hit the start button, and it's going to pull it through just like it does always to scan. It'll pull through, push it out the back, so you got to have plenty of real estate, and then it's ready to frame it. And I'm going to use my finger and draw this up now because I don't have my stylus with me yet again. There, I think that's okay. Then I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to recognize. And what we're doing is scanning and then saving it, and then we're going to mask it and then cut the masks. So what we want to do is cut the outline, and I hit save. It's going to process, and then I'm going to save it to the machine itself because I'm not hooked up to my computer. And I'll notice that the file name is number 10. You can see it right there. So I will write that on this page somewhere. So now then, I'm going to back up, click OK, and I'm going to put masking over this sheet. I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see I have laid my Post-it labeling tape down, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but the Post-it tape completely covers up each one of those individual large flowers, and then by default the smaller flowers will cut as well. So now what I'm going to do is to reload this. This is a little challenging to do holding the camera. Okay, and now I need to back up, and I'm going to go to Pattern, and up here under Saved Data, and it's on the machine, and it's number 10. That you show 6 per screen, so here's number 10 right here. I want to click OK, and click OK again. Then I'm going to go to Cut and Start. Okay, and then I'm going to click OK to finish, and eject. And then I'm just going to back up all the way to the beginning, hit home, delete all patterns, close it out, and put my machine up. Now let's go back to the other desk and pull these off and see what they look like. Now, the written instructions for this are on the Scan and Cut website under Masked Greeting Card. And I will post a link to this down at the bottom in the description below here, so you can find it easily. Now, you'll notice that when these printed, or when these cut, excuse me, they didn't quite cut in exactly the same spot that they did the original inked image. And the reason is because I pulled it out of the machine and masked it up. So sometimes they won't appear to be correct, but you'll see in just a minute here that they're the perfect masked image to cover these back up. Sometimes you just have to kind of play with them a little bit. And you can see where it double layered, where I put my pieces of masking across there. And I just pull those off there. And so you can see then, if you peel them back carefully, that you have a perfectly wonderful mask, and you don't have to cut on top of this inked image ever again. All you have to do is put down the correct amount of masking tape, of Post-it note paper, or if you want to get some larger sheets of masking paper, you can do that and not have to fool around with it the way I did. I just happen to have the Post-it labeler on my desk all the time because I use that for masking things. Let's pull the piece off that was drying and see how it looks, because these masks were done exactly the same way. And I have a little sheet that I keep in the drawer with those stamps that tells me what pattern number it is on the machine. And I'll put this other one in there too, and it just makes it convenient for cutting masks, because on a piece like this where you need a bunch of different masks, it's kind of a headache to cut these by hand, fussy cut them all, when you can have the machine cut them for you. And if you were doing a project where you had repeat stamping and you wanted to use the masks over and over and over again, you know, sometimes your masks just don't hold up very well. And this kind of solves that problem. You can just go over and cut a bunch more then. And you're good to go, just like we are here. So this is Julia, and I hope this gives you an idea of just another thing that you can do with your Scan and Cut that helps you in your studio. So I'm going to go ahead and make this up into a card. Let me show you another couple cards that I made using these two stamps the same way. And you can see how I masked those off. I stamped this one and then I masked it off and stamped the rest of those in on top of it, and made these two little cards out of one piece of paper. So this is Julia, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.